why is it a conversation about who's to blame for single mothers? Can any of y'all answer that? Anybody?
What's your
Ask your
question?
question again.
Why is this a conversation about who's to blame for single mothers? Why are we having this conversation?
Because JR
Well,
put
I'd
it
like
on
to know that
the
too.
No. As a collective, like not on this actual specific panel, but why is this a conversation that constantly pops up? Why are we having a conversation about it's the man's fault that she's a single mother? It's the woman's fault that she's a single mother. Why do we always have that conversation? Why does it pop up? What is the reason?
Because
for
our
it?
community constantly blame each other. So that's why it's the top of the subject. We men are blaming women. We are blaming each other. That's just what we've been doing for years. That's why it's always going to pop up.
What do
I
you
would
think?
say, I would
Go
say
ahead.
it takes all of us as a collective, men and women, to turn the issue around. And the only way to do that is acknowledging where the issue stems from. And if you can figure out where it stems from and who's responsible for it, you can actually have somewhere to start. You might not be able to prevent what's already happened, but you can be proactive for future cases, so to speak. So that's why I think trying to figure out who's pulling the trigger on having the kids is important. Like who's over, and I think we look at probability more than possibility or whatever. So I think that I guess the question is if men, I think a lot of women would or a lot of women I spoke to will say men are not being unfairly blamed. They're being adequately blamed. So I think my only question is if men are not unfairly blamed for the rise in single mother households, how do you explain the fact that women have full control over whether to carry a pregnancy to term and often the final say in child custody decisions while still placing the blame on men for not being present? That's my question.
And back to blaming the woman.
Ali, what you think? Why do you think we keep having this conversation?
Can I so will the leaders step to the forward of the congregation? Because I thought I had heard that y'all was the leaders, and I heard that y'all control marriage. So what that mean?
Are we
Is
talking
that why-
about
is
the
that why
Lord?
you keep having this
Ali, what you
conversation?
got on that? Let me see what Ali got on that.
So,
Let you answer that.
the biggest issue in our community is women have autonomy over their bodies, and they say they have all the power over their bodies as well too. So you have my body, my choice. You have sexual liberation. You have feminism, and you have women who left the coverage of men, their father and other men. You can't tell women what to do. So if a man wants the child, the woman will say, and she doesn't want the child, she'll say my body, my choice. But if she wanted the child, she'll say you should have wore a condom. If you, majority of times we ask women, we have these conversations, if they wanted, how many kids do you have? They'll say, how many kids you have? And we say, well, why you got that many kids? Because I wanted that many kids. So women given access, women choose who they give access to, women choose who get sex, and women choose who become fathers, and women choose if babies come into this world. So the primary responsibility is on the woman. That's their primary responsibility above all. The only thing, one of the main things that we can do, the one thing you give a woman that you never gave anybody else is marriage and a ring. Most brothers never marry twice and third time. That's the one thing you'll give a woman you never gave a woman you never gave another woman. But what a woman was supposed to give to a man was that as well too, was her body. So with that, they were supposed to marry before they carried. They fought to be able to make the choice to be liberated from men, to be liberated from having to be controlled, and they chose to be sexually liberated. So until they choose to be responsible with their womb again, we're going to have single mother homes, strong, independent women, with respect to all the sisters too.
This is what it sounds like where I'm
DJ,
from.
could I get Kim in there real quick, and then we come
I
back
just
to
want
you?
to say this is what it sounds like when you talk yourself out of pussy, because y'all keep telling us to choose better.
DJ, that man just asked you, can he get Kim in there? Yo, keep on going.
I just want to throw it in real
Let
quick.
her throw it in. Let her throw
Let
a
the
shot.
host, man.
I had to just on that.
All right, Kim, you up? You muted.
I think women are doing, and men are doing, a better job of holding women more accountable. I do. I hear women telling younger women, you know, choose better, do better.
Mm,
No, I'm saying because because of the conversations I'm around and I've heard, like, especially women that have been married or even divorced. Like, I'm just telling you what my experiences. I'm hearing them. I say it to other women, not like in a condescending way, but they say, you know, I think Shan said earlier, like sometimes you just, you know, we're young when you're in your 20s, you're not thinking how you are now. But I do hear women and people telling women, you know, you had the choice, you could have said no. You can only use, you know, being young and naive for so long, especially after that first one, and especially if it becomes like a pattern or a choice. That's just what I see.
Kim, do you think most men would ever say they don't need women?
No. Mm-mm.
Most men on the panel, I'm sure all the men on the panel would say they need women.
Right.
A lot of women say they don't need men. You know,
The
so
woman who has said that, I'll agree. Yes, I've said that. Some you have to. I mean, I know most of y'all know on here because everybody on the panel is intelligent. I think when that is said, I think we could all collectively agree. Most times, it's coming from a hurt place.
right.
Right. And I think once you get out of your feelings and you get older, there's a lot of stuff you can admit that you couldn't. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I can admit now that I couldn't 5 or 10 years ago, if we're being completely honest.
What would you tell me if I was trying to use money to buy love and I was trying to use money to get a woman's cooperation? What kind of guy would you think I am? What would you say to me?
Oh, I would say don't do that. But the worst part,
What kind of guy would you think of me? How would you look at me?
I would not look at you as a very masculine guy.
Right. So if women use their bodies to manipulate men and get cooperation from men, no, that's the accountability. We can't blame. You can blame if I'm a sucker, that's my fault.
Right.
If I spend on women and try to get her cooperation, if I spend on women and try to get her to love me, if I spend on women and try to manipulate them, knowing they don't love me and haven't claimed and don't want to be with me, that's how I'm sending them cash apps, I'm hitting their OnlyFans. I'm a sucker to women and I'm a sucker to men, primarily to women. So if women are giving their bodies away to men for nothing in exchange, no cooperation, and trying to manipulate a man to do something he doesn't want to do, the accountability falls on the woman.
Correct. So that's a great example. When you say that, you have to take into account for both men and women. So if a man were to do that and he's approaching women in that manner with his money and leading with that, one, it's not gonna, it's just not, you're going to get what you didn't ask for, not knowing that that's what you're asking for, right? We've seen that all play out, whether it is you don't have a celebrity or not. Same thing for a woman. You can lead with that and nothing good is going to come of that. But the one thing that's very similar in both of those presentations, the woman presenting with her body, the man presenting with his money, one, I believe there's some kind of like, they're not secure, and it could come from some type of, I don't know, possible past trauma or something. Both can be fixed though. Both can be fixed. The thing is, I think what I will say is both of those, you can make decisions and reap consequences that are very heavy. And some of those I don't want to say you can't come back from, but some of them just have their consequences way heavier.
Right. But I was just saying that's my responsibility. If I'm giving away my resources, my time and energy to a woman who doesn't want to be with me, doesn't want to cooperate with me, and I'm trying to take advantage of her, that's me.
Right. And if I'm giving away my body, I'm giving away my temple, I'm giving away, yes, you're correct. Whether I know what I'm doing or not, no matter what, at the end of the day, I'm giving it away. Yes.
Right.